I haven't answered my own emails in 11 months. And 98% of the time, my clients say the answers are remarkable.
Wait, you haven't touched your own inbox in almost a year?
I was on stage delivering a keynote. Then I went off stage and I just checked my emails. My agents had handled one commercial issue totally on their own. Zero involvement from my side.
That's Tim Cortinovis. Forbes calls him a tech visionary. Thinkers 360 just ranked him a top 10 thought leader in agentic AI, and he's advised Siemens, ING, and E.ON on this exact shift. He wrote the Amazon #1 book on building a company that runs on agents. Now he's running his own business with AI agents as proof. So what's actually left for the human to do?
Maybe 20% of my business required my decision in the last month, maybe less. And this number is going down and down.
In this episode, he hands you the entire system.
I automate my research. I automate my newsletter. I automate my podcast, and I automate my proposals.
Then the belief about your own clients, he's spent a year quietly proving wrong.
Some people might say this sounds impersonal, but it delivers real value to my clients. And they value the speed with which I deliver more than everything else.
And a prediction about your job you're not going to like.
The email-based SDR has no reason to exist within the next 12 months.
I want to start in the middle of something that already happened. You were on stage giving a keynote. Rick was handling your inbox. You came off stage, you checked your emails and found that a real commercial situation had been fully resolved while you were talking. You had zero involvement. Walk me into that moment, and what did it feel like?
I was on stage delivering a keynote. Then I went off stage and I just checked my emails. My agents had handled one commercial issue totally on their own. Zero involvement from my side. Just incredible, unbelievable. Now we are there. I've waited for this moment my whole life. And yes, it was a perfect moment. And I thought finally the math worked. And then I thought, is the transaction okay? Is the client all right? Nobody hurt in the process? No. I just checked if everything went smooth as I had expected. And actually it did. On the other hand, of course, this was the moment when I realized, okay, my business can run without me. And for me personally, this is a good thing. I think it's 98%. 98% of answers of my system rig. And so it's 98% of emails, inquiries, and everything coming into my email inbox is handled automatically, but in a way that really gives value. So it is not only answered, but each part of the message gets their value out of it, out of the answer of Rick.
I want to do a complete tour of everything you've actually built. I want to understand every agent, what it does, what it powers, which ones have the most commercial impact, and which ones surprised you the most.
I automate my research. I automate my newsletter. I automate my podcast, and I automate my proposals. Some people might say this sounds impersonal, but it delivers real value to my clients. And they value the speed with which I deliver more than everything else. I think the agent with the most commercial impact is the one that actually writes my proposals. So for instance, in my case, my business model is quite simple. I have inquiries for keynotes or workshops, and I know quite well normally where their pain points are and where I can deliver especially value. So I get an email, and then the agent takes that email and the background from the inquirer and researches a little bit on the background of this company, of this inquirer, and matches it with all my keynote topics and all areas I've spoken about in the past, and assembles an agenda for that keynote, and also highlighting where the benefits and what are the values the audience will take away. And then It also gives you a fee, and it puts a fee, and that's it. And my clients like this a lot because this happens in a couple of minutes after the inquiry has come in. So the agent proposes this quote and of course proposes a personal chat with me and hands over the link to my calendar. But of course, I have another agent prospecting. So this one goes through the whole internet and it has an idea for instance, it has an idea of my ICP, or one of my ICPs is, of course, a conference organizer. So somebody responsible for the keynote speaker selection. And this agent identifies name and contact data and writes perfect email to that person and sends it out. And then there is, Rick. Rick is my face to the customer right now. Rick was my first agent, and Rick is trained on all I've done, all of my 8 books, on a lot of keynote recordings, a lot of podcast transcripts, everything. Rick knows everything. And at the very beginning, 2 years ago, I built Rick actually to replace myself in workshops. And actually, Rick is able to answer you and to give you advice as if you asked me personally. There's not so much difference between it. And Rick is accessible via WhatsApp and via email. And then there's another agent. This is Sam. This is my personal assistant. I'm just working with Sam. And so I'm able to tell Sam, I want a client's meeting with Michael next week. Please. And I send just a short message to Sam. Just look at my calendar and propose Michael two dates I'm available next week. So Sam goes into my calendar, looks for the availability, then searches for Michael's email address in my CRM system, writes the email and sends it out without me supervising anything. That agent just goes daily in the evening through all of my email newsletters I received during that day, and I work with a notebook on Evernote. So each article I come across, I will bookmark there in that notebook on Evernote on my mobile device or on my laptop. And then this research agent, it is called Sophia in this case, goes through all newsletters concerning AI and all my own notes and gives me a summary on that day. And Sophia is prompted so she can also relate it to everything I've done so far. Yesterday evening, she wrote an email to me highlighting a study by McKinsey that contradicted something of my keynote ideas. And she told me clearly where I have to rethink what I'm talking about. Basically, I'm just the strategic decisions are left for me. Basically, sometimes I change a little bit the fee in the automated proposals, but this happens rare times. So 5% are left for me, maybe. So a lot of free time for thinking ahead and driving the business to the next level.
Let's make this concrete a bit. You have a meeting with a new prospect in 10 minutes. You know their company name and nothing else. Walk me through exactly what you do, the specific tools, specific prompts, and tell me what you walk into that meeting knowing that you wouldn't otherwise have known without it.
I work on 2 levels. The first level is using AI like a calculator on my desk without any infrastructure. The second level is using an agentic infrastructure. So the first thing I'm doing without the infrastructure is I use 2 tools. And the first one is Perplexity. I like Perplexity a lot. It is really, really good at doing the research. So I enter Perplexity, and the exact prompt I enter actually is, give me the background to company enterprise X and tell me where are their challenges right now in relationship to applying agentic AI or applying AI, for instance. I would specify really the point where I can deliver value. And then I get a very detailed report, and you have to put on also the deep research. You can, there's a switch in Perplexity and you switch it on the deep research. It takes some minutes, let's say 3 to 5 minutes, and then you get a detailed report on that enterprise, on that organization, with all the backgrounds. And then you take this, copy, and you paste it into, let's say, Claude or ChatGPT. I prefer Claude at the moment, but this might change next week. And I paste it into Claude and tell Claude, okay, Claude, you know who I am. I've worked with you a lot. You have some documents around me and my background and what I offer, my value proposition, everything around it. And tell me, where exactly can I deliver value to this company? First part of the prompt. Second part of the prompt is, and please prepare me. I have a meeting with our VP sales, let's say, in 10 minutes. Please prepare me for that meeting. So where are the arguments? What can I say to get them instantly on my page, to make instantly clear where I can deliver value? So the whole process takes me 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. And I got a very well structured feed to be prepared for the meeting. What I normally do is, in the background, I have connected my Google Calendar, which I work, to Perplexity as well. And every time somebody is booking an appointment with me, for instance, via my Tidy Calendar link, the agent goes there, takes that domain and researches all this background and puts everything what I've told you right now into the meeting description in my calendar. So I can just open my calendar link for that meeting, and I'm right in what is important for that meeting.
A lot of people in sales believe their clients are buying from them specifically, their judgment, their relationships, their presence. You've been testing that belief in your own business for well over a year now. What did you actually find?
I found it out myself personally that clients value speed overall, speed and sometimes accuracy, of course. But this personal connection is something that I found most salespersons, and I am a sales guy as well. I've worked 25 years in sales. But I find a lot of sales guys and representatives holding on to this personal relationship because they need it, because they haven't figured out other channels, other ways to get the information they need to give value, to prepare proposal or to understand the client. So they need really this personal relationship and less the client. And I think if you have personal contacts just 1 or 2 times a year, this is absolutely enough to get things running. And you need systems in place where you can deliver information and meaningful ideas fast and accurate enough for the client, and they will value it. If you think about what is one of the most important pillars of sales, I'm sure you will agree this is trust. If you put the guardrails and if you give your AI assistants, your agents, a tonality, a voice, then you will implement trust as well in the relationship between your clients and your AI agents. But to build trust, you need to be reliable, you need to deliver accurate information, and you need to have a history with the client, where the client has learned that you deliver actually what you promised. And all this drives trust, not especially your presence, your face, your voice, whatsoever.
You've made specific time-bound predictions about where sales is heading. Walk me through the picture as you actually see it for small sales teams. So like SDRs, account executives, the whole function. And tell me, top of the funnel, does it become agents, one human closes the deals? Is that where this is landing?
Yes, more or less. Top of the funnel, there will be agents because they are faster, they're reliable, and they're always there. So it is convenient for the customer experience to have agents on the top of the funnel, no matter what your business is. Even in the most complex businesses, we will see this because agents are able to handle complex inquiries. And yes, for us as humans, closing will be one of the most important parts. So we will have to discuss where we before discussed with the supply chain manager. Now we will have to talk to a CEO maybe, and because all the The execution layer will be done and handled by the agent. And so it will be on us to develop sales as an idea, to enter new markets, enter new target groups, and talk to the C level to connect our businesses. And this is where I see sales heading. And yes, of course, this demands a lot from people in sales. The email-based SDR has no reason to exist within the next 12 months. Salespeople need to learn not to sell to humans, but to buying agents. Your prospects AI will shortlist vendors before your prospects even know they're in the market. The companies that will win will not be the companies with the most agents. The companies that will win will be the companies that are able to put all their knowledge, all their thinking, all they know about markets and clients and prospects into systems and into agents. And the better they learn this and they handle these systems, the better they will be in the market.